Peace, 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 and many blessings. This is your girl Sunshine. This is Shine Vibrations. I appreciate y'all that was checking up on your girl. I had to take 3 weeks off, but I am back. Peace, peace. How are you? I am definitely doing better. Got some new stuff coming on. Possibly co-hosting another podcast that will be Sunday evenings with one of my good homegirls, my son's godmother. She's also a fellow poet. Her name is Vicky Pretty Words, but this will be in light of women's health. We are both, in that age of premenopausal, and when you're starting to find out things that are going on with your health, we are making sure that we rally our sisters, letting them know that no one is going to be an advocate more for yourself than self. So when it comes to the medical field, women in general, especially Black women, we must be our own advocates. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the show. So, with that being said, we have Father's Day coming up. Peace, peace. How are you doing? So, I want to share this piece, and then I'm going to get into my guest for this evening. This sister is so fire. Just for our quick conversation, because I do my little stuff in the background, like I was telling her. So I've been watching her. I co-moderate a room in Clubhouse with someone that is a good friend of hers. So as I mentioned, it's always great when your name is mentioned in spaces where you are not present. So I started doing some lurking and started watching her anonymously and stuff like that. So once I sent her a message and asked her to be on the show, I was thrilled and honored that she said yes. Because when I tell you, this sister, she is busy, 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 busy. But it's always great to be busy like that. Hey, and there's also one of my fellow co-moderators. There is Triple P. How are you doing, my Toronto brothers? And how are you doing, friends? Good to see you all. Okay. Whew. This piece is titled Brother. Strong brother, there is no one above you. I will always speak life into my brothers. I overstand you got it hard. Existing seems more like a job. No, when I see you, your shine is reflective of the sun. I greet you, peace God, for I see the creator in you. Mentally conflicted relationships, feeling like stick-ups, battling, wanting to give the fuck up. Tired of shutting the fuck up, wishing it was all a dream so you could just wake the fuck up. Reciprocity is what you're craving from your lady, providing the same grace you've provided in y'all shared space. As a man, he will keep you protected, the weight of the world heavying like metal on his mental. Invisible chains attacking his temple, that Zulu warrior, awakening deep within, a release he's not afforded simply because of his skin. Breathe, King. Trust in who you choose. Sis, pause for a second. Observe his moves. He's not neglecting you. He's shifting through blueprints to build better for the two, fumbling over the gun of right words, bullets emotionally triggering, selfishly sound blocking, stung by his truth. She can't get past it. Refuses to let loose, falling on deaf ears. He scrambles, gathering the shells of his words before the fall of her tears. Now a shell of a man standing with open hands, relieved heart, fearing less, like a brand new start. Continue your race, beloved. Stay on your mark. Strong brother, always remember, there is no one above you. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, P, that's my background music, so I never be triggered by that. So that's the Sky Daddy by Soul Res. Appreciate you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. So now, let me get into one quick promo, and then I'm gonna bring her in. and then I'll fit the other ones in because I am so excited to get her on the show, and the room is filling up. So right here we have my young brothers with Soul Society and Heavy Energy with that live alkaline water.
Peace and love, family. Check it out. It's the We Are the Gold campaign. The We Are the Gold campaign is all about highlighting ourselves as the wealth, value, and solutions we've been looking for. We are the gold. Before it comes to the money, your health is the wealth. Tap into intentional lifestyle decisions, making sure you're putting living local foods, preferably, especially organic, into your well-being, your temple, you know. And you already know you got to couple that with the live alkaline water, the best hydration in the nation, natural alkaline spring water straight from the source, no artificial induced processing. And the other side of the We Are the Gold campaign is activating our economics, you know. So tap into the We Are the Gold campaign. Get your $20 monthly subscription special at heavyenergyuniversity.com.
Okay. Now, when you run over to heavyenergyuniversity.com, there are 2 promo codes that you can use. One is Shine Vibrations 888, and the second one is Royal Sons, that's SUNZ Enterprises 810. Go online, shop the different packages that they have, and they automatically have a discounted package for 20 gallons of water automatically for every month. So check them out. Again, that's heavyenergyuniversity.com on Instagram, all social medias, and also Soul Society. These brothers are the 2 brothers that brought We Are the Gold campaigns to Greensboro, North Carolina area. The first 2 years they had David Banner. The third year, me and my Royals was present, and we got to meet KRS-One. These brothers are doing things for the community. Stay tuned to what they got next, because I will always promote for those brothers. So now, this darling of a queen that we have, she laughing in the background because let me adjust my electronic technicians. We had a quick, great conversation in the background, but when I tell you this sister is booked, she booked. You know, I love her spirit, and what her spirit calls to me is that everything that she does, she is intentional about it. And a lot of people don't understand is that when you do things and you wonder why it's not going the way you want it to do, it's because of the source, meaning your intent. The intent equals your heart. So if your heart ain't fully vested in it, it's not going to manifest to what you want it to be. And I see she does it faithfully. She's out there. She's in them social media streets. She's everywhere. So this is Lady Shine Poetry. And baby, when I tell you, I watched a quick TikTok of her. This sister could sing too. So, you know, I love, I use the old folks. That sister could sing. But I love it when we have those who are multifaceted. You know, I don't believe in putting anybody in a box. It's because we don't know what the divine creator had put in each of us individually. So they can be great at all things. There is nothing wrong with that. So without further ado, let me go and bring Queen Lady Shine Poetry. How are you doing?
Hey.
So
you know you got me over here cracking up.
I know, I see you in the back. So let me run back because the room was filling as soon as we started. So I believe some of these are your peoples and people that know us both. So good evening.
Let me get my glasses.
Who is that? Torazu? Am I saying it right?
Tarazu, yes.
Torazu, okay. And then we have Renee.
Coach, what's up? My poetry husband.
Hold up.
Well, wait a minute. Not like that. His wife said that I could be the extra wife.
No. I'm just saying this is the husband. So we got to make sure the husband gets his shine, because it's so funny, because leading up to Triple P, he gets that same type of energy with certain poets that comes on my show. So that's why.
Right.
And then we got Miss Fran up here.
Hey.
And then we have Tinkerbell.
Look, that's my both of my babies, Twist of Love and Tinkerbell Divine.
And then Renee said, Mama Shine, all I want is a little light to shine on me. I know that's right. And they was agreeing with what I was saying. Yes, she can. Let's go, Mama. And then look, get look, all your accolades. Look, Triple P, you know it. Shine to shine. You know it.
Okay.
Oh, see, he said that's my boo. See, I love it. Look, Triple P said he thought I was your poetry husband.
Oh, listen, till God send me my permanent poetry husband, they great feelings.
Oh, y'all great feelings. Okay, so now before we get into all the shenanigans and all the good stuff,
yes, ma'am.
What is something that you want the world to know about you?
Oh man. That in spite of hell showing up, I'ma always fight for heaven. And it's not
Oh,
just
wait a
gonna be for
minute.
me.
Rewind. Hold up. Pause. Rewind. Say that again. Say that for the people in the back.
Look, that in spite of hell always showing up, I'ma always fight for heaven. And not just for myself, but for all of the people, those that I've met, those that I'll never meet. You know what I mean? Um, and those that I may meet in the future. It's imperative that at some point we understand that we are going to become the elders if we are so blessed enough to become that and to step into that phase of life. So if we're not leaving something, if we're not giving them something to grow with and take further down the road, then we failed.
Mm,
So,
You mind sharing how old you are?
oh girl, I just turned 45 on June 1st, and
Okay, so look, and I just turned 44, April 25th. So
hey,
the reason why I asked is because I know we was raised by some of the same elders.
yes,
Just by that answer. You know,
absolutely,
like giants, we are standing on the shoulders of giants, and in return
yeah,
those after us will be standing on ours for everything that they do that we've done for them.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so I definitely they cutting up. Hold up.
Oh Jesus,
Louis
listen.
step back. And he said fine, he'll stay on the side. Tara Zeus says side pieces is okay.
Look, listen, I can't take them nowhere, Jesus. I can't take them
Oh,
nowhere.
oh yeah, definitely can't. And Renee said, and this is why we love this woman. Go off, mama. I know that's right. So, as I mentioned, poetry, I feel, and what I've gathered from other poets in our community, that poetry is a great component to healing.
Yeah,
It has
if it's
helped,
used properly.
and that's why I'm like, it has helped people get through hurdles if they use it in the proper content. So,
Absolutely.
is there any point in your journey so far that poetry has been either an outlet or like a brass of armor of you coming out of a storm and kept you afloat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I walked away from performing for Jesus 15 years.
Mm,
No competitions, no performing, no stages, no mics, not singing, not poetry, not anything, for 15 years. And in that 15 years, um, it ate away at me so much because it wasn't like the poetry just stopped coming. It was still coming and it was coming brutally. And the greatest fear that I have ever had was the truth in my pen because I've never been able to lie with it. If
mm-hmm.
it's on the inside, it's gonna come out through that pen. Doesn't matter how many times I try to flip the wordplay, it will look at me and laugh and be like, yeah, nah, that's not how this shit's about to go down.
Accountability for your ass.
At all, at all. And so when I came out of my retirement, I um I came out with absolute force and a push, with a piece called "From Kissing Bullets to Kissing Pens,"
Mm,
and it was never written with the intention of it being performed or shared or even like a solid piece. It was a rant and vent piece, and it turned into something very epic. And
mm,
it became a huge blessing for a lot of people, and uh, especially with it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Um, it's a piece that I've shared a couple of times, for some of the men that I know, especially men that have been in the service, because it definitely it speaks a lot to self-harm
mm-hmm,
and and unalivement, and where my head was and what I was going through throughout the course of that 15 years, and how heavy and ugly it was for a really long time.
mm.
Um, and yeah, so that piece poured out of me like Niagara Falls, and there was no stopping any momentum at that point, because once it started there, the floodgates opened. And I ended up sharing it on, because it happened during COVID. I ended up sharing it on another virtual program, um, and it kind of messed up some of the people that knew me
Mm.
and had known me, but had no idea what I was going through, because I don't talk about a lot of what I go through, you know. So, but yeah,
Charge it to
that
our
would be the
heads and not our hearts, people. Charge it to our heads and not our hearts. Because sometimes it's a filtering process. And a
yes,
lot of times we got to remove ourselves to keep us together before you can even get the words together to share to someone. If it's still a mess to us, it's going to be even worse trying to transfer that onto someone else. So a lot of people be thinking folks retreating because of some backwards, mixed up stuff. But I always say, those who know, you know. So
that part.
when you pop back out, they be just waiting there with open arms to receive you.
Oh
So
yeah,
Renee said, so you come out with the force and the push, but you kick us out there every time. So, and then she
yeah.
said, drop kick me and everything. So,
Look, that's kind of how that goes, and I think it's just because I know what it's like to hide um under your own concrete,
mhm,
but eventually concrete shatters, and
that's
whatever's
right.
meant to come up from that seed and up through the ground, that concrete can't stop it.
That's right.
You know
Like
what
the
I mean?
reference to
So
concrete rose. That rose, the
exactly.
weeds is gonna come out in between them cracks. It's gonna come.
Exactly. And there's just no stopping no matter how hard you try. I tell people all the time, no matter how hard you try to run from your calling, the only thing that ends up happening is that you end up running dead smack into it.
Yep.
There's no way to get away from it. So you might as well just get over it.
Yep. Put your big girl drawers on, put your
Yeah,
big man boxers on, you know what I'm saying, and handle it. And Renee
that
said, and
part.
because of this, I love her for all that she is, not just her poetry, not just her vocals, but her as a person. Indeed. Indeed. That's why
They're always
when I
trying to
was
make somebody
promoting it,
cry.
I said to know the personality because this sister is dynamic. And I cannot wait for y'all to hear some of her pieces. But I'm about to put you on the spot.
Oh, go ahead.
I saw she was doing TikTok on this particular live, right? And so I would like if you would share the song. It don't have to be the whole song. You could do exactly what you did on there. But would you just do Sister for me one good time? One good time.
Oh my God.
Put that in my spirit when I was listening to you.
Listen, and I clown because it started with my sister Devlin. Every time we see each other, that's how we would greet one another. because I tricked them.
Devlin, 313.
Look, I tricked them into doing the duet challenge on on TikTok. I was like, yeah, y'all should do it. They was like, you gonna do it? I was like, yeah, and I never did it. I was like, y'all all right. I sing this every day. I don't need to do the duet. Like, y'all hear this song.
Gotcha.
But just another way I like to push people out of their own comfort zones. But sister, you've been on my mind. Oh, sister, we're two of a kind. So, sister, I'm keeping my eyes on you. I bet you think I don't know nothing but singing the blues. Oh, sister, have I got news for you? I'm something. I hope you think that you're something too.
Yes, what I tell you? Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Chris Poetry Cave popped in. Want to make sure I
Uh-oh, the
didn't miss.
cave is in the
Oh
building.
no, I gotta go back up. Renee said she wasn't trying to make you cry, but it's true.
They
We
always
got
trying to make me
Carlin
cry.
Vessel. Lady Shine is one of the purest and brightest souls I have encountered. Chris Poetry Cave says she is a beast with a heart, very dangerously. Great combo, indeed. Yep. 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 Renee said, thank you. Look, yep. They was ready. Look, they was ready. That's what look, and they got definitely right there.
Look, she said, sister. Look, that's my good sis. That's my right and my left hand. Like, don't play with it.
Yes. Look, they giving you the hearts, the claps. Look, Devlin, yes. Look, and let me tell you something. Devlin done put me in my place, had me in a group chat, talk about some yes, ma'am.
Listen, them elbows are sharp and she uses them.
Yes, she does. She be in with the shenanigans, but then she be like, it's like I felt it. I have yet to meet her in person, but her spirit like came through the text message, and all I could say was,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Look, I don't even argue no more. Like every now and again, the brat in me gets a little spicy, but I pull back quick. I like my nubs.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
She said, my sunshine is amazing. And she laughed, smiling. Yes, yes, yes.
listen, them elbows is vicious, Jack. She come hard with them elbows.
Acting up. That's why. I said, never been
Pause.
a person that poured so much of themselves into so many. Truly an honor to get to know and love this woman. Indeed. Indeed. See, I love it when
They
folks get
always trying to make me cry, man. Listen, I do not have my Kleenex anywhere near me right now. I'm gonna need y'all to stop.
that. They calling all y'all out. She said, I know you ain't talking about somebody acting up. Definitely you trouble too.
Me?
Trouble said that
Oh, you talking about Devlin? I was like, wait a minute, man.
we just called her a W. He said Devlin was a WWF wrestler.
Listen, elbows off the top rope. Don't play with it.
Me, I better stop playing. I'm trying to tell y'all. Look, I got cousins that's from the D that used to come to Jersey in the summers, and we would go to the beach and everything. So I know what's up. Okay.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
Zeus said she was the answer to my prayers. Definitely an earth angel. I know that. Oh, I was acting up. Look, she was talking about me.
At least it wasn't me this time, Jesus. Amen.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
I
Look,
was.
I told her, spit on it, Jesus. Like, it wasn't me, Lord.
And Tinkerbell said, that's my mama for real. I know that's right. So Now, I did have you sing. So,
Yeah.
would you like to share a piece before we go into our last artist spotlight, or would you rather start when we come back? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely I'll do a piece real quick. I noticed that you started off uh repping for the men for Father's Day. Um I
It's the
don't know
one you
how
was
to go.
talking about. I mean, go
Look,
ahead. Have
look,
your way.
I don't know I don't know how they gonna feel about this one, but it's all love.
It's
Trying to
all done in love. Who
look,
better to tell you than one who reflects you?
listen, at the end of the day, it is my absolute divine duty as a feminine force to light a fire into divine masculine
That's right.
and to remind them who they are, and not from a space of destruction but from a space of absolute building.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
Because we build
this is
to destroy the things that are not for us.
facts. So this piece, a couple of people have heard it already, but to those that haven't, this piece is called Dear Black Man.
Dear black man.
Dear Black Man. No, no, I mean African, but no, it's our Kebulan, that man molded by God's hands, that one and only human created in my womb, feet kissed by the motherland, created to be a god. A position long forgotten by the fires created by man's hands, ancestors awakening. Can you feel their fire in your veins? That moment of feeling crazed, you hear their voices, yet the wicked would call you depraved, labeled you savages when there is no Neanderthal in your veins. Peace, King. I mean, peace, God. Dear God, allow me to explain. You see, that pain that sits in your chest is from the spiritual knowledge that you aren't anywhere near your functional best. Most days average at best, but your average still requires at least 10 of their best, hence you being labeled the threat. You see, your mental rest, though quite necessary, is a slumber that can no longer be tolerated. Created to love me and protect, not just for the purpose of reproduction, yes, multiply, but frequency between you and I creates planets and galaxies. Yes, reproduction, but not the only function of flesh creation, its frequency and then manifestation. If only you could look into my eyes and see the mirrored image of greatness. For if you despise what you see, you'll find confirmation that you are still flooded with the sickness of Neanderthal lies. And I bet that you'll think that I'm crazy when I say that Brother Kanye was right. We chose this life. For if we knew the power of our rage, that alone could have ended slavery in one night. And it's easy to look at me and say, girl, that is far from left, while too focused on the right when you look around and you only see loose fingers and no fists in this fight. They blinded you in one eye, then convinced you that your enemy was the melanin's reflection of you, and now your aim is off. So, dear black man, no, no, I mean African. No, I mean our cable line. I meant peace, God. No, peace, God. I know why you did it. I still remember the pain in your eyes as my womb cries, you, the protector of my life, soared to my throat. So I returned back to that time and I screamed, damn it, let me die. Paint yourself in my blood and allow that warrior's cry. Let rage swing as your souls relate for the next lifetime. But know that I will be just fine once those loose fingers find their fists. Tied together at ancestors' wrists, no more countries, just one continent for their plot twist. I know my heart desires for my people to finally know peace, but the colonizers have proven that they think our hearts to be weak. So when the blade hits, when that pendulum swings. Let our ancestors rage in your blood, bask in their screams. So I leave you with this one last thing. Please remember that loose fingers without a fist still ain't shit. So, dear black man, no, no, I meant African, no, no, our cable line, peace God, no more peace God. It's time to rage.
Peace, Earth. Because that right there, whew, if that wasn't water for chocolate, I don't know what it was. Okay, so let's go back up here before we go into our break. Because I saw it was like 11 comments. Boom, boom, boom. So Triple P was asking Lady Shine, do you have any collabs with any poets or musicians?
I do have collabs with poets and musicians. Uh, one more recent, but most of them from back before I retired.
Okay. And Chris agrees she sure will. And then Devlin said Triple P, she needs to get one. We got Renee, yes. She said, let's go. She-Val, Lady Love is in the building. Look, see, they just know. Look, they going back and forth collaborations, not collar, but yeah, that too. Yes, make sure y'all like the live and share the link. See, look, she already on her moderation stuff, just like she doing
Listen,
Clubhouse.
always, always, always.
Triple P said his bad. That's that autocorrect. I can't stand it either. And then essentially Janice, hey, princess, how are you? I love me some Janice, y'all. I just love her. And the Jays said yes. Up, Tinkerbell. She go ahead. Thank you for the love. Tyra Zoo, let's go, poet. Look, oh my goodness gracious. Come on, mama. Look, look at these. Look, and you got the folks in the background at blast. Boom, there it goes. Goes back there watching. Look, Louise, tell her that's my wife.
Oh, Lord.
This is my show. That's Carla, comedian, actress extraordinaire. I mean, she's poetess, singer. She does it all.
I love it.
Going to be a quick little plug. Those of y'all, if you didn't get your tickets already on Eventbrite, she is in a poetic expression of Queen and Slim this Saturday in the QC, the Queen City Charlotte. I can't wait to go support my show on that.
Okay, come on.
Yes, and as long as my phone is charged up and they don't say we can't record, I'm gonna make sure that I record and post my. We hard headed. I just be trying to behave. Chris said just let it happen. Devlin shouting out the blast, and here go blast. Come on, family, take the time to go. Yep, run them lights up. Okay, so we're gonna come back to discuss that piece, but because of my piece and because of that one, I definitely know who I'm playing now. I know who I'm playing now. But I swear that I know this brother and his wife. You can't tell me I don't know them already. Okay, they are such a dope combination. She is has her own chiropractic practice. She sings. He's a lyricist. He's the holistic health wise. Like when I say like what you was talking about, that balance, like they exhibit that balance that we all reference. So that's why I love them so much. And the projects that he does, you can tell the energy pours into it. So when you got the right queen that speaks life into that ear,
come on,
it produces and manifests great things. So with that being said, this is Yamasani featuring C. Rich with The Culture.
Okay, girl, get it together.
Who's a Jew and who's not? That seems to be the new topic. But I'd rather talk about who profits from violence on them singles you copping. Man-made holidays commonly deceive you in shopping. We in such pain, we seek out naproxen. Try to switch to PEA and doctors treat it like it's treason to stop it. Big Pharma feeling the karma. It's the season of logic and we waking up, clean the house, mentally steaming the carpet. This the reconstruction era, breathing the carcass. Read me the charges. Kyrie retweets an image and they're seizing his dollars. Stephen A says I'm loving this and he even hollers for stricter punishment. Oh, and Shaq, he's an accomplice, saying Kyrie should be suspended. Me being honest, media egregiously takes brothers, even hermanas, and pins them up against one another to feed the piranhas. I mean that Kyrie stormed the Capitol with thieves and Obamas. I'm watching all this happen at the crib in my pajamas like
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Can I trouble you for a moment in time for us to huddle to? My people been through more ups and downs than the letter W got. Your people fell out of touch, we scared to summon you. We worship false idols that encourage us to be drug induced. The truth is hard to rebuttal, yay, so they muzzle you. Call you an unsolvable puzzle and they unpublish you. Try to make you earn approval with hurdles you jump into. But wait, make your decision like turtles, cause they can tug at you. But they know who you are, it's a power struggle and suppers do. Reclaim your seat at the table, pour you a cup or two. Take the largest portion of justice because they hunting you. Don't forget to finish that spinach dish in the supper stew. Leave the humble pie for the shower with the hitting colors too. Once you discover self with compass, you'll notice something new. They don't want you smarter cause all of it's meant to comfort you and keep you running in a virtual bubble that's puncture proof.
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Dear LeBron, some say you the GOAT. I think that label's a joke for any human, cause every human's the greatest that's woke. So I'm confused by the words that you chose to use in your quote. You don't respect it, Bron, who you protecting? To not support the truth that your brother spoke is pathetic. I guess stealing people's identities copacetic. You act as if Kyrie is a random user on Reddit that posted a random documentary to say he said it. But when in contrary, he's been mostly prophetic, especially with that jab that you took. Do you regret it? You know how many adverse reactions needed a medic? Your boy Kyrie's with the ancestors comedic. They burned our temples, took our Prius paper to shred it. And you ain't say a word when they called him anti-Semitic. Brown with everything else, you're so versatile and eclectic. John Sally stood up for Kai, your boy Shay Shay ain't expected, but
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
That was Yamasani featuring C. Rich with The Culture. That is one of our many artists here on Blast Music 24/7. Did I mention they're also a radio station? Did I mention those of y'all who were in our age range? If y'all remember Indie Post from back in the day, we have acquired that online magazine. So what I need for y'all to do is run over to blastmusic247.com. If you are an artist,
Oh, me.
and those of you in the chat, you run on over there. You can create your stage for free and upload your music, your MP4s, your visuals, everything, so that you too can be featured on one of our many platforms on this podcast on this platform and be shared with the world. So that is blastmusic247.com, and it's also for the fans. So you can join for free and you can browse artists like Yamasani. You can also catch me on there and hopefully Lady Shine. Oh, just so you know, I do this to all my guests. So I'm not just picking on you, but I'm picking on you.
Okay, I am accustomed. I am accustomed.
So y'all run over to blastmusic247.com. We are changing the industry one artist at a time. You know, we live for the independent artists. Thank
I know
you for
that's right.
those giving Yamasani the love. And yes, please. I know me and Yamasani done already spoke. That brother knows, like I am like, yes, Yamasani. It's another one on there too. Hakeem Romance. You know, y'all gonna have to catch one of the erotic shows, and I'm gonna put one of his songs on there. So yeah, he is
Okay.
definitely the truth. Yeah, yeah. We got some brothers on here that are doing their thing. So your piece,
Yeah.
how fresh is that piece?
Jesus. I think less than 30 days.
Less than 30 days. Now, was this something you just need to get off of your chest? Something that as the climate is changing right before our eyes, or a combination of both?
Um, it's a bit of a combination of both, but it's connected to a series that isn't completed yet. I had wanted to write a letter to Black men for 10 years, but every time
Mm,
I would pick up my pen to start, I didn't like where it was going. And I would just pause out. And I said, okay. And literally the only part of that piece that has remained from the original point was essentially let me die. You know what I mean?
mm,
And there's so much spiritual context to a lot of that, especially when you look at the education and history of what was done to our people, and particularly our men,
indeed,
how we were used and to break them. Um,
indeed. The buck
and
slave.
you get
Mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? And so
mm-hmm,
for me, uh, death was never anything to be afraid of. It still isn't. So in my spiritual mind, allow me to become the ancestors' blood on the other side fighting for you and
indeed.
end this shit today. Because why, Craig? Like,
Yeah, you know what? And this
yeah,
is what I love is because your answer to the reason why you did this poem just took away my other question. And I love when that happens because I have two sons. I call them my royals, 13 and now 11.
man.
I get asked, I get, oh, what they call us now, pick me's, stuff like that. If you side with what men are saying, especially Black men, oh, you just want to be seen. No, I hear him and I
And
know what it is that he needs and I hear what he is asking. You're just too self-involved to see the greater picture of it all.
and here's that discussion. That's a whole nother talk show. Here's what
Mhm.
I have with regards to that topic and the pick me quote unquote conversation. I think that people are missing what we're agreeing with and trying to make it seem as though it's a blanketed agreement.
Mhm.
Um, there are people who do not understand the spiritual context behind the motion and the reasoning for the balance of masculine and feminine energy. We all embody both, right?
Yep.
But there is a necessity for one to carry more and other to carry less for balance. Everything comes down to balance. And I think that oftentimes as women, we forget the power of femininity. And I think that oftentimes our brothers um, uh, confuse masculinity with responsibility.
Mhm.
And so we get men and women with this argument of what is masculine versus what is feminine when the people who are having those convoluted arguments, neither party is walking in their masculine nor their feminine.
Woo! Yes. Call them out right now.
So
Call them out right now. When I
you
tell
get
you
what I'm
they
saying?
have the responses that they not walking in their
They're
divine energy.
not.
Yes.
They're not. They couldn't give you the true definition of what it actually is to be either, because we have been so disconnected from our own spirituality, our own access to the Most High, and we have been so uh, tailored to someone else's belief system that
That's
we
right.
have lost the understanding and the full connection that we had, that gave us the balance that we had. So it's when I feed my man, I'm not just feeding his belly, I'm feeding his spirit. Because in the action of the preparation of that food, I'm
Mm,
giving him protection.
mm,
I'm not just nourishing his stomach, I'm nourishing his
mm,
mind, his heart, and his soul at the same time.
mm,
So when I talk to young women about understanding the necessity behind preparing a meal, there is alchemy in that process.
mm,
And
mm,
we have been so separated that it looks like maid service. Do you get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
They don't understand the difference when you prepare a meal out of hostility versus love and spirituality. The way that it's digested is different.
Mm,
So
mm,
there's this misunderstanding and this disconnect, and it's bothersome to me. And when
mm-hmm.
people say pick me, I say educate you.
Indeed.
I don't give that pick me conversation energy,
Our energy, yup.
because when women say that, and men say that, and because we hear it on both sides, oftentimes with women that say that, it's like they think that we are giving permission and providing permission for poor behavior, right? And for abuses. No. First name Smith, last name Wesson. That's how we handle abuse. I don't play those games. So no, it's not about a pick me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because there is a line that we don't cross. But you have to understand that men have been literally training themselves to remove their own voices. And
That's
then when you have women who have been trained to follow a toxic lead that are now adding to the toxicity, we're not doing what we were supposed to do, which is reteach, reprogram, nurture, help to make the correction where
that's
the
right.
misguided mindset happens, because we've been disconnected from the truth of who we are.
That's right.
So we're just adding to the problem, right?
Yep.
And so for me to say, shut up and listen, let that man talk, because he's trying to get a thought process out,
That's
and you're
right.
not allowing him the permission to process, think, and speak, and then just hear it. Ain't nobody asking you to fix it. Ain't nobody asking you to change it. Nobody's really even asking for your 2 cents to 50 cents or your dollar to fold it or hold it. Just
Hold it or hold it.
just listen. Do you get what I'm saying? And there will
Because
come
that's
a
something that
time
they don't have. They don't really have
we don't
someone,
know
because they don't share with their homeboys, they personal life, they mental stuff. Not all men do that.
that
Those
part.
barbershop talks have stopped, because
That part.
that's what the barbershop and the beauty, salons were back in the day. That was
And
their
and
their time to vent, and a lot of that has gone away.
and because here's the reality. In a lot of those cases, the advice that was given was based off of toxic pain and trauma response. So they weren't getting anything successful out of those talks at times. I'm not saying all the time,
Yeah,
but at times, because now if you got the elders in the room, then young man,
exactly.
now listen, let me tell you why that shit's about to fail. Yeah,
Yep.
you
They
get what
can
I'm
see
saying?
it. They can
Because of
see
the
it while you
wisdom.
talking about it. Oh, that's how you think it's gonna play out, but that ain't what that's gonna be, player.
We're
Like Desmond
losing our
said,
elders. We're
like
losing our elders. And
indeed.
so, as being the next elders and the ones in line, we have got to heal the things that have been broken within ourselves so that we can heal the things that are broken within our communities,
That's
so
right.
that we can understand what love looks like when it's unconditional, not when it's tolerated or
That's right.
tolerating, right?
That's right.
Because
Mm-hmm.
there is a difference.
Big difference.
There's a huge difference. And I think that unfortunately, when that conversation comes up, It is because people don't understand the difference. It is because people they're giving trauma responses because the only information that they have to respond with are their past experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the only thing that they can see is the blinders of their own pain, they will never grow beyond that to see the access the pain of the person that they claim that they love. They're never going to
Indeed.
see that if they can't get past their own. And so one of the greatest parts, and this is why I recommend therapy. I recommend couples therapy. I recommend individual therapy and counseling. They provide you with tools, right,
Mm-hmm.
to utilize to show you how to even argue fairly, how to communicate appropriately, how to meet one another where each other is, right, through the
Yeah,
traumas.
that's
Because
right.
the reality is that most of the population is not going to be healed before they jump into their next relationship. They're just not, because they're looking for someone to fix them, because they still have not realized that the person that you love cannot fix you. The most that they can do is support you through you fixing yourself.
Indeed. I have I have something that normally say in reference to this, and I say it to the reaction that I get from the brothers when I say this is different than the sisters. I will tell you, the sisters are more combative when I say this. But before I say it, Devlin, great point. I agree with you. She said, I am raising one. So how dare I not infuse the world with what my son will need? And that is the
Hello.
point that I make. These sisters don't understand that they are listening. They hear
Yes.
everything that we say. So if these young brothers hear their mothers talking smack about their fathers, the men that they're dating, what do you
Facts.
think they are going to take that as? Not everybody knows how to take something negative and flip it to a positive. So
At all.
that might cause those boys, those young men, to get this mentality of, well, I can't stand my mother because she's always talking bad about black men. And here it is,
Right.
I'm a black man. How can I be proud of who I'm supposed to be when my mama can't even show me that? We
Hello.
are the world's first teacher. We are God in the children's eyes. They learn
Come
from
on.
us from the time of inception in the womb. So everything that we are saying and pouring out and taking in manifests through them.
Listen,
So,
and I'm gonna say this because of what you just said, and this is to every woman and every man in the room that can hear, that can teach, and will be willing to learn. Every woman that you look at, whether she has carried life or not, is quite literally your direct access point and the closest that you will ever come to touching heaven in
hmm,
real time.
hmm,
And what you must understand is that our bodies and the way that we were created, what you pour into them is what you will get out.
that's right.
Now, if you are sitting in dealing with a broken vessel
Mm-hmm,
that doesn't understand her own purpose, and
mm-hmm,
she is not in a position to be able to be taught
mm-hmm,
and walk in her own healing,
mm-hmm.
stop putting her brokenness on every other woman that you meet and leave her where she at, hand her over to God and move on about your business, because there is someone out there that is capable. And even if they are hurting, even if they need healing, they are actively in the process and willing to go through the motions and actually walk that out. But there are some that unfortunately just they never will. That's nothing that we can't do anything with those who choose to lay down and literally uh, uh, die in the midst of their own ignorance. We can't do anything with that. I can't force you
That's right.
to drink from the well of life. I cannot force you to take in
That's right.
information. I cannot force you to educate yourself. I cannot force you to want better for yourself. I cannot want more for you than you want for you.
That's right. Indeed.
Right?
And you touched on exactly what I was saying. So this this thing I've said in spaces with women, and I've said it in spaces with men. As you spoke on the men dealing with the woman who is still dealing with her own brokenness and not able to pour as she should to help keep that feminine and masculine balance, just as well as the women who are dealing with the men who cannot do the same. You are cheating on your mate.
Hello.
And what I mean by that is you are taking a relationship from somebody that he or she has no knowledge of. And you are using that as a playbook, as a blueprint to dictate your current relationship. That's cheating. Because no matter how much he or she may be showing up right and showing you who their true self is, because you are still blinded by this mask from a previous relationship, you never truly see the great blessing that is in front of you. So when folks say they ain't cheating, cheating don't always mean sexually.
That part.
It don't always mean sexually. Because I'm going to tell you, we are not each other's possessions. We are not. No. We are here to enjoy each other. We are blessed with each other's time. And when you do find that one that wants you and you want them and things fit and they work accordingly. You can't force what's not written. You can't force who is not prepared. That's like putting a square peg through a circle. It ain't gonna work.
At all. At all.
Yep. You know we always end up with prompts. So hold on. The broken vessel sounds like a new piece I need to write. You know it.
Come on, Carlin. Come on, Carlin. Listen, and you already know what it is.
Leave those that say that's just how I am where they are.
Yeah. That is my biggest pet peeve, because that means that you have absolutely no desire for growth, which means I cannot build anything with you.
Yep.
I cannot build anything with someone who says this is just how I am. Because the reality is that as life progresses, you should be progressing through life with life.
Evolution, baby. You're supposed to evolve. There's levels.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that is how wisdom comes.
That's right.
Wisdom doesn't come from standing stagnant, right? Nope. There has to be forward progress and progression, and that progression looks many different ways for many different people, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have to end up with that person that you can be aligned with, that matches. You get what I'm saying? And they're balanced, and there's that compatibility of balance.
And expecting you from people who not you.
Listen,
that pedestal that we put people on, and when they don't achieve where we put them, that's not their fault.
Baby, you will set people up for failure. You will create emotional thieves out of people that never came into the set of circumstances with that intention. And I will always be very clear on this. You have got to stop thinking that I'm going to love them the way I want to be loved. That's not how love is supposed to work. You have to love them the way that they need to be loved. And if you are incapable of doing so, then you need to get out of the way for someone who can. Now, you can teach a person how to love you, but you cannot try to force them to accept what you need when they may need something completely different. And that is why you have to know yourself well enough to be able to convey what it is that you need, what your requirements are, what your desires are, so that when you do that honestly with your partner, you give them an opportunity to be honest and say, A, yes, I can. B, no, I can't. C, I'm gonna need to figure this one out and learn a little bit. It's on a curve for me. I don't know how to do that, but I'm willing to try, right?
And that's so
it. And it's literally that simple.
It's
that simple.
It's so simple, but we complicate it with our feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
People don't understand it because you don't see it, but there is order in chaos. You just don't know the order. You don't know it. You can't
Look,
control, so
I make people so mad when I tell them. I say I've been married and divorced blissfully, um,
look,
and
look, hello. Hello.
right. And what I tell people is, if you think that love is enough, you've already failed. You can't come to me talking about love you too. You cannot come to me talking about how you want to be married and think that love by itself
Is
is
enough.
enough. That's not how that works.
Not at all.
It isn't. You have to get
Have
up every
your
day and make a
together first
choice.
before you go attach to somebody else.
Hello.
Let's say that, especially when
You
you
have
talk
to
about
be
going
very
back.
clear. You have to be very clear that you understand what for better or for worse is in
Mm-hmm.
good health and bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Till death
That's
do
right.
us part. That means when he lose his job. That means when you lose your job. That means when the rent is due and ain't nobody got nothing to cover it, and eviction notices is on the door, and y'all got to come together to figure it out as a team. That means that when cancer shows up, God forbid, that means when that disease that's been lingering and hiding in the blood of your loved one pops up
Mm-hmm.
one day and they can't walk no more and they can't wipe their own behinds no more.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? That means when that mental health issue shows up and it ain't nobody know that it even existed, but it's here now.
Right.
It's there is so much to that. There is my partner is growing in this direction because what they dreamed that they wanted to do before that is now changed and they have evolved into something else. Can I evolve with them? But even if what I wish to do and live is on a different plane, can we evolve together in a way that supports one another to maintain this? There's so much more to it, but people live in this ignorance is bliss type of concept of life, of the Cinderella and the prince nonsense, right?
Mm.
And so they don't realize just how real life is. There's this amazing black guy that he did this piece called Issues, and he had this line in there. He said, "Even life's got issues." Like life by like not just you got issues. Life got issues. Life got
It-
issues with
oh,
life. Like the bar, it was so crazy, and I love the piece, but it was just the entire piece was phenomenal. But people need to understand that this walk was never meant to be easy. You were just meant to know that you've been equipped with what's necessary to survive it and thrive in it,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
And that's the only promise that you were ever given. And if you can handle that and go into a relationship, stop showing up talking about, well, first impression better be your best impression. No, your first impression better be your realest impression.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Indeed.
real.
So now the part about hearing each other made me think about something, right? And again, you got to be confident in who you are and confident in your relationships and your encounters. And it's hearing one thing, but also hearing what's not being said. So, for an example, the dating thing, going out to eat and stuff like this. Don't get me wrong, yes. Because when you're in a position that you work, you raise kids, you cook, and you do this all the time, you do like to go out and award yourself. So yeah, I like to go out to eat. And of course, I support, those that reflect me when I do as best as I can. Um, so there was a long time, part of my own healing, 70 years, I wasn't with nobody. So guess who I was dating? Me.
Yourself.
I was
But
taking
you're
me out on
supposed to.
dates. I was going to the movies. I was taking myself on vacations. Me
Mhm.
get reacquainted with me. But listening to my dude, yeah, I like food from there, whatever, but I'd rather have your cooking. At first, you not thinking of what you're really hearing and what you said earlier about the preparation. what you put into it. When you go to a restaurant, it's boom, 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 boom. It may be good, but is it nourishing your soul? Is it touching your spirit? But when you at home and you in that kitchen, you're a chemist, you know. That's science that you brewing in there. That's love that you're putting into that.
It's
Everything that
alchemy.
is
It's
good, you are
yeah.
putting into that meal and sharing it with those that you love. So that's an example, if y'all still didn't get what she meant by listening to hear, not listening just so you can speak.
That
I
part.
heard. So do I question it anymore? No. If I want to, I'll go by myself or I'll call up one of my
Right.
homegirls. But I heard, you know what I'm saying? That's like one of the things of making sure that both sides are heard. A lot of
Right.
women, you also mentioned, um, now their faces when you hear, oh, well, a woman needs to be able to be taught. They don't think that they can learn. They think they got it all. But a woman becomes more of self when you have the correct man within your cipher. The
Let
correct
me let
man.
me let me put this question out there for every woman that claims that they would like a man to lead them. Hey,
I was waiting for them to
I
chime in.
told you. So something
Look, he
about
ready to get on the sisters too.
that part. But Amazon delivering the package, so he over there losing his mind. Hey, 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 come here. Come on, come on, come on, Bubba. Come here. Come here.
That's her co-host when she does all her stuff
That
on
part.
TikTok.
But this Benjamin, Prince Benjamin. Hey, look, and hush. There ain't nothing but Amazon. Calm down. But I apologize. Um, but what I was going to say is for every woman that claims that they want a man to lead them, what leader do you know that doesn't have to teach the people that are following? What leader do
Mhm.
you know that doesn't have to teach? Do you get what I'm saying? So if a leader is who you truly want, then you better be real mindful of what you are praying for
That's
and what
right.
you are asking for.
Because technically, a woman, some folks may disagree with me on this, but the woman should not be praying for a husband because the husband, the man, is the one that seeks the woman. So what I mean by the woman should be praying more about herself, preparing myself to be open to the man that has been, created for me. Because still, the women end up getting these men and don't know what to do with it.
And here's my response to that, right? I believe that both parties should be praying for preparation.
That's right. Preparation.
And they should be both parties should pray for preparation because the reality is that any position that you are asking to be placed into, particularly divine placement, you
Mhm.
should be praying to be prepared and made ready for.
That's
I
right.
don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a wife. I don't care if it's a husband. I don't care if it's to
That's
be a
right.
parent. I don't care if it's to be the president. I don't care if it's to be a housekeeper. I don't care what the thing is that you are praying for. You should be praying for preparation. And there are two things that people need to understand, men and women alike. when talking about that dynamic of a relationship, right? Because we all know several different dynamics and different folks and different types of love. But when we are
Mhm.
referring specifically to this dynamic, what people need to understand is I think that oftentimes women get caught up in, well, you want me to follow, you want me to be taught, but what about him? Well, every good leader should know how to learn because you cannot be a good leader if you also do not know how to follow, if you are
That's right.
incapable of understanding those things. So I don't think that it's a matter of people should not pray for specific things because I do believe in the power of prayer and manifestation. But I think that they need to be very mindful of what it is that they are actually praying for, what they are
Hmm.
actually asking for. And oftentimes people think that they are far more prepared to receive certain things that they want than they actually are. That's why when folks be praying for the lottery and then they're broke in 3 years because they never asked to be prepared to receive it. They never
That's right.
asked to be prepared for the knowledge and the wisdom on how to properly take care of it, how to utilize it, how to make it last throughout a lifetime, right? So
Hmm.
the same process must be true with regards to everything that you are asking for, everything that you are praying and manifesting. You must be prepared to be primarily focused on the portion of preparation to be able to be in a position to receive that and essentially, for lack of a better terms, not fuck it up. Do
Pretty
you get
much.
what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's literally just that simple. And there's a piece that I wrote. It's an apology letter. And it talks about being a woman that was incapable of loving
Mm.
without that toxicity. And I think that people get caught up in perspective because of who's saying it and not having the wisdom to understand that we're not talking about a singular party. We're talking a whole picture, right? So that means that you have to get outside of your trauma response because of what you had encountered. Get out of your overthinking, get out of your head, get out of your own way because you are causing more self-destruction than growth in the process, right? You have to be willing to understand and accept that the conversation is so much more than just the portion of your trauma and your experience.
That's right.
And and unfortunately people oftentimes just can't see beyond that. They can't see the bigger picture. And I've been
Got to be
guilty of
able to see the strength on the other side because you got to grow
that part.
through it. You got to.
That
It's
part.
mental calisthenics. It's preparation. So, do you have that piece that you was referring to?
Absolutely.
That was a
Absolutely.
perfect segue to the next piece.
Look, I like
Renee already
absolutely.
said, look, run up that piece, Mama. See,
Look, absolutely. For every man pushed into a position by love towards a forever wounded woman, God heals all wounds, yours and ours. So thank you for your patience and for carrying the weight of our traumas when we never even knew that we were in need of such relief. This is the apology of a broken-hearted woman to a gentle-hearted man. So please be patient. As I am growing into my emotional intelligence, there was a time when your gentleness towards me felt like smothering for me, but not because of your weakness. Instead, it was because of my brokenness. Lost in a sea of fists and sexual abuses wore scars worn like soldier medals, and my uniform created in concrete and metal like mythical characters praying no cracks of me can be seen. The gentleness of your touch felt like focused laser beams, eyes like x ray vision, and I am afraid that the perfection of your love will find the truth behind my scars as unworthy. So I call you emotional. I call you too sensitive. I called you weak to disguise the disgust behind my own eyes towards me, but I needed you then, and today I still do. And I apologize for the scars that I've caused, so I beg you to hand them back to me so that I can wear them instead of you. I am begging forgiveness from me as well as you, and I know, hmm, I know, just another broken woman singing the same damn tune was once auto-tuned to a frequency of low vibrational self-hatred and madness, but God is my piano tuner, making the needed adjustments to my strings, and my song has finally arrived as new. And I promise that it's not only safe to love me now, but finally it is safe for me to love you too.
That right there. What is the title again?
It's I just call it triple two at this time, but it's literally a letter to, from a broken-hearted woman to a tender-hearted man.
And that right there is some grown shit, people. Okay, like that right there, when you know self, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is a beautiful thing when you know thyself,
Mm.
and to go back to the great thinkers of those shoulders that we stand on, the women that were in their lives, Malcolm X, Betty Shabazz, Dr. King, Coretta Scott King, like these women in their divine feminine energy was so silent yet so mighty and powerful that
Come on.
most young women today don't understand. That being able to soothe the beast is real, and it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, when a man get violent, you got to be able to. No, that's just what y'all see in movies and on TV. But
The
if you
greatest
don't,
beast.
if you don't know how to play chess, I really say you should learn, because what we were speaking on about the woman being able to be teachable, whatever lessons she received from her king, that is so when there are spaces that he cannot be present, or spaces where men aren't present, the queen moves across the board in any way where that same message will be conveyed. So, to give you a carryover technique, you know how your elders will say, when you go out this door, remember you represent me. you know,
Yeah.
Everything that they poured into us, when we leave them, it needs to be reflected. So if you are not on the same accord, that fold is going to be seen. And whenever there's a fold, people come and attack it. It's not just, oh, everybody want what I want because I got such a good man, I got such a good woman. No, it ain't always that. If the fold is already present, that means the unit is weak. And that's when, however you say it, the enemy, the demon, whoever, shaitan, yes, the jinn, yes. When the fold is present, that's when they show up. So you got to be able to stand on that square firm. All I know growing up, from what I've witnessed from my elders, and I'm talking about my great grandmother and her sisters, my grandfather's aunts and uncles, and their husbands, they was a unit. They took care of each other. When one was down, when everybody show up to go to that house because something ain't right, something is going on. That is what we as a nation have gotten away from.
Yeah.
And yes, we are tired, but that's giving up on your own child. Like I said, we are the world's first teachers. So giving up on those that reflect you, those in your relationship. Now, we're not saying There are some things, no type of abuse. We are not saying to stick around for that. No,
Mm-mm.
I know I ain't. I will definitely not say if you out there being somebody's punching bag. I will not tell you to stay for that
Listen,
because
I told you earlier, first name Smith, last name Wesson. I
I'm
don't
tell
have
you,
time.
look, I 5%, but I'm a proud 2% too. You feel me? I carries. I got some. My streets.
Mom,
I'm in an open carry state, but I'm licensed to steal. Do you feel me? So I yes.
baby.
Okay.
And one thing that I want to say, there's something that you said with regards to women feeling like, calming a man down when they're enraged and they're upset. The greatest beast that a man has to tame is his mind.
That's right.
And if you are fueling the beast of his mind in a way that is waking up or an uncontrollable um rage and confusion and frustration, then you are failing. Um, and please understand, this is not me saying, oh, you are, everything that you do, and no, he's still grown. He still has to make a decision with regards to whether or not you are going to be who he deals with. But you have to understand your role. And I say this to women in society as a whole. Just as men have to be held accountable, we also too must be held accountable.
That's right.
It's accountability is where healing begins, because healing cannot be based on the foundation of a lie and a
That
mission of the
foundation is
truth.
rock. The moment
A,
it's
a
a lie,
mission,
that's it.
that part, a mission of the truth in and of itself is
That's a
a
lie
lie.
too.
It's
Oh,
a
I
lie.
just didn't say nothing. I don't like that. Oh, I just didn't say
Yeah,
nothing. You
it's
not
still a
saying
lie.
something. You might as well just went ahead and came up with a lie.
But
But
in the process of talking about the building of men, there's a piece that I love that I wrote called Galaxy Kiss Mindset.
all right, I'm muting my way. Come on with it.
I'm I don't know how long the show is, so um I get this one in, and if we have time for another one, we'll
We a
figure
little,
it
look,
out.
we a little over, but I take the kicking for that because when the energy is good,
When
it's
it
hard to
when it's
and you
there, it's there. When it's
there.
there, it's there.
Look,
Um,
yes, I love y'all.
so Galaxy Kiss Mindset, we'll talk about it after I finish it out. You see, I am calling an end to your mental and emotional roller coaster rides. You're constantly turning tides, and I am speaking healing to a heart and mind constantly fighting the change necessary to see true joy. May I hold your hand? May I kiss away your hesitations? May I call a ceasefire to your mind's war? May I just sit here by your side, for I am calling in love. And I am calling in peace. I am calling in the healing that has eluded you for so long, fighting storms and scattered skies on your behalf, and placing lightning into bottles like seeds planted into the depths of Mars, because where you see graves, I see access to the stars. So don't run and do not hide. Don't fear. Stop trying to steer a ship that you were never meant to captain. Stop carrying the baggage of traumas that you were never meant to pause from whilst in the middle of the unpacking. See, I am not bragging, but I have a skill set that is unmatched. Only met by the sea and the wind and the earth and the fires burning away at your sorrow. See, I am the other side of the light where the real work is done, the underside of the soil beneath the grass. See, my love kisses the roots to health beyond the seed, or destroys the roots depending on the need. And I am neither the devil nor heaven's angel. I am the opposite of greed. God's war wagon and earth-kissed beast, the naked lady's offspring. See, I am the me of me's, created for your growth and not just to please. My womb carries the DNA of your legacies. Waves through the universe and beyond the galaxies. I am the beginning and the land that covers the end. So ashes to ashes and dust be to dust. I am not simply created to carry the pockets of your lust. I was sent with love beating through my bust as you lay your head on my bosom, breast set to feed the world. Third eye to third eye, finding clarity beyond man's lies, soul to soul saving and soul to soul craving. See, I am calling an end to your mental and emotional roller coaster rides, your constantly turning tides. The seed is now planted. So embrace your newly freed heart and mind.
That I definitely love that piece. It made me think about something that just transpired
Mm,
this week. Um, I mentioned I have two sons, 13 and
yeah,
11. And sometimes the other is present, sometimes they're not.
yeah.
Another example of how, no disrespect, sisters, if you just ain't there yet, you just ain't there yet, you need to heal. But queens, an example of how we operate, especially those who have sons. And this is not against those who don't, but I'm speaking specifically just to piggyback off of what I said earlier. Being able to pour into men, I cannot continue to be on this platform. I cannot continue to be on stages sharing the mic with brothers and not give space for their fathers. Because everybody's timing is not the same. So
Mm,
my oldest just saw his father for the first time in 7 years, physically.
mm,
Physically, where the last time his father saw him, he was 6.
mm.
FaceTimed him once I don't count that because that's not real energy, you
Right.
know. But to know that the next time you see your son, he's
Mm,
squared up in your face and he ain't even 16 yet.
mm.
I'm a big girl, okay? I ain't short neither. I'm about an inch and a half, 2 inches shy of 6 feet. Okay. My
Look,
13 is right there with
look,
me.
I'm a squirt. I ain't a 5'4". I ain't a
and
5'4".
and I know it's necessary because there was a period, me as a woman, a young girl coming up, my father wasn't there because of incarceration.
Yeah.
You know, I had my grandfather, my mother's father, my uncles, but when it's yours, your bloodline, that's different. I knew what it was like. I knew what it was like once the reconnection was made and I came back, it looked like I was brand new. No matter what you do, it's always going to be something missing. And I
Yeah.
asked him, I said, how do you feel? He said, I'm good. I got to see my brother. And then when me and Auntie took dad home, I got to see my other brothers and my sister. And I said, you good? He said, yeah, well, I'm ready to come home.
Mm,
It's just the encounter. I
yeah.
cannot say these things that we need to continue to uplift, and I don't do that in my own cipher.
Yeah.
People tell me you do too much. I would never. Oh no, because as I told my elders, when we are gone, our children only have each other.
Hello.
So coming from a father who was a Rolling Stone, and there's 16 of us, you feel what
Look,
I'm
I'm the
saying?
23rd of 26.
You feel what I'm saying? So knowing that you need to keep these connections because it's bigger than the adults in the situation. It's for those children. Because
Yeah.
when we are gone, they will need each other regardless if they grew up in separate households. And
Yeah.
that is the bigger picture. And that is where this continued drama, that gets overcasted. Okay, that happened. Okay, he got a bunch of kids. Okay, she got a bunch of baby daddies. But what are y'all doing about keeping these babies connected?
That part. That
And
part.
that is the most
Yeah.
important thing out of all of this nonsense is what about the
Yeah.
babies?
Yeah. I was 19 before I realized what number I even fell in. I only knew about one sibling. I only knew about one. I had no idea what I was unearthing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
with my father. So yeah, it is, and because there's a lot of separation with a lot of us, you know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And so there is um there's a great deal of internal stress that comes with that for me because I'm social, but I ain't social.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Like whenever God bless me with my husband, he gonna have to understand like I'm social, but I ain't social. Like I'll deal with our immediate circle, but
But outside
I'm
of that,
cool with just I'm cool with just being at home. Like you know what I mean? I'm not,
look,
and it's nothing personal against people, but I'm an empath, so dealing with a lot of different people and
protect that
energies,
energy.
it is wearing and tearing on the body and the head and so many
Mm-hmm.
different things. So I have to have space away from groups of people or people that require a great deal of bandwidth.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? A friend of mine, I was talking to him last night, and I told him, I said, um, I was asking God about a few things because as I'm praying in my own space and understanding my preparation process, um, I've always known that I was a healer the vast majority of my life. I can tell you stories that would freak most people out, right?
Mhm.
And um, God said, I could never send a broken person to you because you require a protector. Because
Yep.
as a healer, if you're the hospital, that means people come in, they go out.
That's right.
A lot of people that are healers, they get very attached to people. So if there's anything that I can impart upon a
Mm-hmm.
person that has a very healing calling on their existence, people are going to come
Whether
and
you
people are
want
going
them or
to
not.
go. Right. And you cannot hold against them their departure because the hospital was never meant to be moved into.
Exactly.
And people they get frustrated because they'll have broken people come to them and they'll need so much and you'll pour in and then it's like, oh, now they're gone. Well, that was the purpose.
That's right. I
And when
always
you
said that
understand,
every encounter, whether it's
mhm,
5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 months, 5 years,
that part.
that is the time. Because a lot of you ever been in a situation where you met a person one time and then run into them 10 years later, or there's a 7 degrees of separation type thing where all these other people end up networking, and then you and that one person that you met 10 years ago ends up in the same space again.
Oh, 1,000%.
You remember you.
I've had it happen. I've had it happen
Exactly.
repeatedly. So I just that is the one thing that I would say that I would want to impart upon anybody that gets an opportunity to hear, a lot of what we talked about. Understand that in your calling and in your cause and in your walk, if you are called into a space of healing, people weren't meant to come and stay permanently.
That's right.
And there's a misconception that because you're a healer that you are not um ever to be in partnership in permanent long-standing partnership. That is also false. Um your partner just they're either going to be another healer, but they're going to be a healer with a protector's tone.
That's right.
That because you can't have someone come into your space romantically and be broken and you're the hospital because once they're healed, then you're broken because they left because they got what they needed from you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's all that it was ever meant to be. And there's a reason why doctors aren't supposed to be fraternizing with the patients. You understand what I'm saying? and
Exactly.
and there's a reason behind that. So when you understand your calling and you understand where you sit, you understand how to navigate better in life. And since this entire conversation has been this beautiful discussion of divine feminine and divine masculine, I got one piece left, and then however you
Okay.
want to wrap it.
Real quick,
You good with
Poet
that?
Paradox repeated that line. My womb carries the DNA of your legacy. That is so true. There's this young brother on TikTok that be cooking. So y'all check out my reels and stuff because I shared him because he literally was talking about what we all should know is that the black woman's womb is the biggest, biggest computer that there ever is.
That part. If
Biologically.
if people understood the true breakdown of DNA, um, they would understand why so much of the world hates us, and why so much of the world attaches their fear to hate when it comes to us, because they believe that the hate that they have carried throughout the legacies on their end is something that we carry in ours. And that was never our cause, that was never our calling, that was never our desire to cause harm, right?
Mhm.
We're built for war, but that's not what we want to do. We have this love of humanity and this brokenness in so much of ourselves here, where we are carrying destruction on the inside of us because we are walking, talking, living, breathing acts of trauma responses. Do
That's
you get
right.
what I'm saying? And
That's right.
and I have a friend. He went over to spend some time in Ghana and Kenya, and he's just like, when he wept, he said, I went there and I wasn't a black man, I was just a man.
That's right.
And affection and love was real, and it was solid, and it wasn't frowned upon. It was, he said, I got to be human.
That's right.
And here we have always been placed in a category of less than human, but the
Hmm.
DNA says the exact opposite. And that, baby, that's a whole nother talk show. So,
Yeah,
the piece that I'm gonna
real quick,
do
the
when
poet
you ready,
paradox. The poet paradox asked permission. I didn't want to overlook this one. Lady Shine, I would like your permission to use that line in the poem.
you have my permission. Absolutely,
See, I just love that.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
Tinkerbell, you might have been under my personal YouTube page. So yes, so that might have cut off, but yes, I'm still here. So we about to run this last poem, and then she's gonna run down real quickly because I know we're gonna probably get cut off soon. So she's gonna run down what she does on TikTok, okay? And it's so funny because the things that we talked about is how I close my show. So when I go into my closing, you will see what I mean. Go ahead and run that poem, please.
So this piece is called "The Great I Am: A Woman's Poetic Anthem." A lot of people have heard it, but this is one of my favorite pieces to women, because again, understanding who we are is imperative. You see, ego states that I must announce myself by name every time that I enter into a room. Like, hi, I'm Lady Shine, a rich bride like Clementine with an unsuspecting groom. But my gift, you see, my gift dictates that my light must enter the room long before I do, because the raging waters of the ego can have me drowning too. So instead of screaming, I whisper. Because there is power in my tone, from the depths of my whispers to the peaks of my moan. I walk with a confidence because even in solo steps, I am never truly alone. I, hmm, I couldn't be the darkness if I wanted to. For I was created within a limitless mold, and I choose not to be your misery, though capable of causing great harm. Instead, I choose to be your peace, so that finally, my dear king, you can disarm. A constant creator, a love, a rib with a warrior's will to fight. How could I ever be your sorrow song when I was meant to be your light? The great I am, I am a greatness beyond my womb and deep into the spiritual places. I am not just a creator, I am the map to all of creation, the tour guide through true manifestation and the remover of all of your blocks and, yes, all of your hesitations. I am more than just your departure point or even your final destination. I was the dream before the creation of all of the nations, the force behind the breaking of all of the plantations. I am vision, the third eye, decoding all of man's lies, stripping away the disguise of all of man's spies. I am the evidence of breath, and I am the push behind every one of your steps. I am your hopes, removing from your neck the squeeze of this world's ropes, and I am the river flowing with dreams. And I am the good soil bearing the fruitful legacy of all of your seeds. I am the wind flowing ever so gently through the wings of doves. Yes, I am not only your sister, your daughter, your wife, your mother. I am the proof. I am the existence. I am the being. I am love.
Mm-mm. Baby. Whew. So now we're gonna run this down. Lady Shine at Lady Shine Poetry underscore SSEE. This is where entrepreneurs and artists meet, network, and learn business and finance. 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And this is Flex and Finance Fridays on TikTok.
Yes, so we are bringing that back in July. And then there's the open mic with Lady Shine, which is my flagship show that I started on TikTok. We'll be going into um, our third season, but our 3 year anniversary is actually technically December 19th. So
This is my
it's been a
3 year
pleasure.
anniversary on Blast in September. Okay, we in our threes. All right. See,
Look, right. So that is every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The Creative Props Sundays was at 5:30. It's actually going to be changed up to 4 o'clock. And that is where we have artists from every genre, every walk of life come in, no matter what the medium is, whether it's poetry, music, visual arts, whatever. And I provide a prompt. I give a title and a phrase. They get 20 minutes to create, unless it's visual art, then they have the entirety of the live, which is about 3 hours. And they create to the prompt. They don't have to create the exact words. I want them to sit in a space of feeling. I want them to feel what it is that creation is calling them to put out there with their art and their gift, because this is a gift that we have and we must allow it to flow naturally. So I place time limits only to force them to get out of their own way, and 9 times out of 10 it works. Sometimes they still in their own head, but
because that irritate can be a beast
right,
sometimes.
but every now and again. But yeah, we do that on Sundays, and then we've got this is a show coming up. My beautiful sister, dear me Queen, and myself. She is the pro. I am the karaoke singer, and we are going to battle it out 4 songs apiece on TikTok. And I made her a promise that if she pursued pushing her pen and being a poet and writing and songwriting more, that I would step up to the plate and I would share my vocals more, because a lot of people never knew I could sing. So
Yeah.
I'm a woman of my word, so I'm maintaining that. We're doing also open mics on Instagram. So unfortunately, my mother passed, and we were going through hospice. So when we were set to green light this, we had to take a pause. So this is coming in July of this year. So every first and third Thursday of the month, we will have the open mic over on Instagram, and it'll be mid-afternoon, excuse me, to accommodate for a lot of our international poets.
Okay. And the J says your poetic flow is tasteful. I am love. And of course, Renee said, go off, mama. So y'all know how to find her. She's also, you want to give your regular Facebook page? Do you promote that one as well?
Look, they can find me as Lady Shine Poetry on all social media outlets, whether it's Snapchat, Fanbase, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the tweets hair now called X. I am Lady Shine Poetry everywhere, or Sunshine Express Entertainment. Shine is always spelled with a Y instead of an I because it's always about the you, not the I in my gift. So that's what it
That's
is.
right. And I am on TikTok under Shine Marley. You can find me off of, the promos I tagged Lady Shine in. On Instagram, it is Queen Shine, spelled Queen 8HINE. Those of you who were poets in the comments, just know I was peeping y'all names. So run that back, get at me. It'll be your turn to feature on here. You let me know. We go Fridays. So I will be reaching out to y'all, but y'all can beat me to the punch and reach out to me too. On Facebook, I am Sunshine Cromwell, and I have a writer's page on Facebook called Sunshine Vibrations, spelled the same way my name is on here. So, with that being said, this is Friday. Be cooling how you be cooling. Remember, life is about accountability
Come on.
and duality. Because when I shine, you shine, we shine together.
Hey.
So y'all be safe out there in them streets. You know the climate has changed, but the only way we going to survive is if we stick together. Because remember, a nation is only as strong as its women. So it is up
Mm,
to me to make sure that our nation is healing and experiencing prosperity. Y'all be safe out there. We got some thank yous in there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch me next week. Get at me. And oh yeah, before I forget, because somebody told me I don't share it enough, mine is compromised. So if you want to donate, that's my Cash App, Royal Sons Enterprises. That's also for my Royals too. So that's ROYALSUNZ Enterprises. You know, run them donations up for your girl so we can keep this going.
okay.
Poet Paradox, lovely show. Appreciate you. I will be in touch, or you get at me. Need to get you on the show. And y'all really be safe, and salute to the fathers, because just like I say with Mother's Day, Father's Day is every day too. You
Hello.
know, we gonna run it up and give y'all time to shine. Y'all be safe.
Amen.
Love you. Peace.